Okay, yay. Welcome to Achieving Greater Purpose with Joy and Genius and Innovative Creative Ways. So we did the call this morning. It was fabulous. We had a great time this morning. We had people from New Zealand, Norway, Iceland, UK. It was just amazing. And I can see now we've got US and UK and Germany, and I know you're not in Germany, you're in Spain, aren't you, Adriana? Yeah, fantastic. So there you go. Exciting. I love it. So I'm gonna kind of do a recap of what I said this morning on the call, but then we'll go play and see where we get to. So the first thing I did this morning was I asked people, do you already know what your greater purpose is? So do you already know? Stick up your hand if you already know what it is. Okay. Yeah. So if you don't already know, then if you want us to use you as an example and play with it, we can do that. So just when we get to that point, just stick up your hand and say yes. Okay.
I used to know what my purpose is, but because I've been in so much change, I'm in transition and the new one hasn't come through yet.
Yeah. It's one of the things I said too this morning that we think when we're born we have this destiny and like that's it and there's one thing, but I don't think it's like that at all. I think it's a constantly morphing, evolving next thing, and it becomes almost a choice where the universe says, how about this, and you go okay. And next thing you know, you're off on another jaunt, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. So you actually find yourself in multiple ways working on different things. So have you all seen that? And just stick up your hand if you have. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's one of the changes that I think has been happening in the last 10 15 years maybe, but especially the last 3 to 5 especially has been really amazing. So the other thing I was talking about is that if you put greater purpose, hi Julie.
Hi.
If you put greater purpose into the normal reality, which is kind of like, here, it can become quite hard. You plan it, you push it, you trying to fix something, etc. But if you put it into the new version of reality, which I will call quantum reality, then it becomes joyful and effortless and exciting and innovative, and the measurement becomes joy in that for me. It's like, how much joy does it bring me? If it lights me up, I'm going to go for it. If it doesn't, if I'm trying to do something I don't like, I give it up really fast. So I think that's another one of the changes we've been going through. So, okay. So, and I think what else has happened is that the quantum field, whereas quantum field consciousness, we're all kind of out there at one point, they're now like right here in the air we breathe, even in our cells. They're very, very present. It's so you can access genius, innovation, ideas, etc. Possibilities. You just pull them out of the quantum field and they come really effortless. So one of the things I didn't talk about this morning was the state of superflow. Hi, Pip.
Managed to just get out of the meeting.
Yay!
So I'm in my car again.
Fantastic. I love it. So one of the things for me that's really come evident in the last year and a half is the state of superflow, where it's just like an ongoing outpouring of ideas and writing and, expression and new ideas and possibilities. And I think that possibilities is one of the key pieces in greater purpose at the moment, because we can access them so much easier than before, which is exciting. So that's a kind of overview for it. So anybody want to throw anything in about that or ask any questions about it?
Just briefly, Solera, when I was in the network a lot, I was in this super flow and I was like super connected. And now I feel like trying to be understood, and I talk about self-esteem and all those boring things, you know. And I got so disconnected, and I'm like, I also feel that I'm getting new, and I don't know what that means. So just as a comment, you know.
I get
Yeah.
that. You know, a lot of people will think, well, I have to say it so they can hear it. Y'all recognize that one, right? Well, I'll have to reframe it in a way that regular folks can hear what I'm saying. And one of the things I've also noticed that's a shift in the last, well, this year for sure, is that I can almost say anything now and people get it. It's really changed. Yeah, I see you nodding your heads. Yeah, it's really changed. Almost like there's an openness and a curiosity in people now that wasn't necessarily there 2-3 years ago. It's very prevalent now where there's an interest and a curiosity in it, I find. So yeah, exciting. So yeah, good one. And yes, Adriana's talking about a shift. So you've all been through mega shifts, right? Multiple times, right? Yeah. Yeah. So the shifting is part of the greater purpose. I think that we're evolving who we are as beings. So we're constantly like, we get settled, we get stable at a new level, and then whoosh, off it goes again to another level, and then another level, and then another level. And in between, often you can feel a bit lost, like empty and lost sometimes. But it's the next iteration of you coming through. So if you can hold it that way, it really helps to move through it. So yeah. Brilliant. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Fantastic. Okay, so I asked you how many know what your greater purpose is. So is there somebody who wants us to use you? So stick up your hand if you can be more than one person. So Eliza, anybody else want us to do you? Okay, Doriana, Karen. Okay. All right. So of those three, so Doriana, Eliza, and Karen. So we're going to tune in, pick one, or do all three if you want, or do yourself if you want, whatever feels like exciting to you, do that. And we're going to look at how you find greater purpose. So my guess is that all three of you are in a shift next level of becoming. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. That, and it's a regular thing now that happens. And when I'm going to look at greater purpose for a person, there is inside of you what's always been there from the day you were born. Your genius, your mastery, your essence points you towards greater purpose. But out here is let's call it the universe, and the universe is going, hey, how about this? Or how about this? And it points you, it asks you to do different things. You might get signals for it, you might actually hear it, you might wake up one morning and there it is, you know, et cetera. But it's when you put those two things together, the essence of you and what the universe wants you to be up to, and you put those two things together, and then you get super creative with it. So, okay, we're going to do Eliza, Doriana, and/or Karen, whatever you're called to do. Okay, so here we go. And whatever way you do that, let's see what happens, and then we can all share afterwards. So, okay. Okay. Oh, that was cool. So Eliza, I did you. So I know all three of them very well. But so I know you're into quantum everything. And I know you want to be on a stage, and that's what came up first as a speaker. But then I went to the universe and said, what do you want? And the answer was to get people to live their quantum life. And I could see you bringing people together in, like, it was an experiential event where they all hang out together, walks in the woods and conversations and make great food together. And it's probably like 5 days or maybe a little bit more. And it was just this whole experience of your quantum life and what that looks like. That's what I got. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, that sounds fabulous, because I've had retreats. I used to do retreats, but it's been a long time, and it's been sort of resurfacing. So retreats, not in the old way, but in that just resonated. And yeah, I feel like my message in how, although that's an old word, to be the quantum is being finessed right now. It feels like that's what's being molded in me or through me, or I'm recognizing, or something like that.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So anybody else want to share what you got for any of the three of them?
Yeah, I too focused on you, Eliza, and there was such a open space that felt like you could do anything. Like it was so wide open that you could pick the way you want to feel, and then the opportunities to feel that way would just unfold in front of you. That your desire for feeling was first, and then there's just no limit at all in what was available once you chose how you want to feel.
Yeah, Julie.
I focused on Doriana, and limitless was a word that came up. And it was really like she is the embodiment of limitless possibilities. And she asks us to go into beyond our limitations, to experience what limitless could be for us in this moment and throughout our lives.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. It's the whole thing of possibilities, opening up to possibilities. It's become really big recently. Like it's really like front and center for so many of us. And I think one of the things you want to do when you're looking at what's your purpose and how do you fulfill it, number one, joy, but number two, you want to be really super creative about it. Like do things that have never been done before, and unleash your own mastery that's within you. And let me say, I didn't say this morning, but I believe that we all have our own inner mastery and genius, and nobody needs to teach you how to do what you do, because it's naturally in you and of you. And it's like you're going to do it different than anybody else is going to do it. And when you're called to bring like something so big and so new into place, what you want to do is just get so creative with it and innovate how you're going to do that with joy and fun and exciting ways. It's really important that I think we do it that way rather than get stuck in trying to change what is and all that. We invent brand new possibilities. So yeah, thanks, Julie. Yeah. Anybody else?
Well, I did Karen, so I guess I'll say something. I don't know what exactly it is, Karen, but I got a very clear image of a girl or woman. It was more that less whether it was a girl or woman, more very young, vibrant energy in a yellow rain slicker and red wellies dancing in the rain and kicking up puddles and just having a blast. And I asked what that is about and what's it for you. And the answer was vibrancy, like bringing vibrancy into the world. And I said, how? And it said, by telling stories. And I said, whose stories? And it said, your stories of how you found vibrancy and joy, and that maybe it's something also connected to your art. You do art, I think. Yes. Yeah. So that's what I got.
Fantastic. I love it. I love the red wellies.
I've had green wellies, but never red, but
Red and yellow.
lovely. Thank you, Kelly.
Well, if you were on the call this morning, Kelly's the one that had the purple sparkle power boots that I was mentioning. Then I think sometimes you have to dress how you want to be, like in some way that's quite exciting. So there you go. Fun.
I connected with Doriana Solera.
Yep.
And I got that same energy that she has for years, but it was like more like bigger. It felt like electricity. Beautiful, like transforming everything. Blue color, beautiful, very beautiful.
Yeah. Well, because she's just back from Burning Man. And one of the things that's interesting that she's just said to me before the call started, and what I saw in the Glastonbury Festival this year, is how big groups of people can be so kind to one another, sharing and being loving and really getting on and being supportive. And it's amazing because with the Glastonbury Festival, there was like 200,000 plus people in a field, and it was amazing to watch that unfold and see that. And I think Doriana said the same thing at Burning Man. And it's kind of like, I think many of us are here to show the world there's a brand new future that's existing. It's not just possible, it exists. We're living in it, and it's how we bring that to the world in some way. So let me also say, one of the people that was on the call this morning from New Zealand, she didn't know her purpose. And when I tuned in, it matched very much someone I was doing this with last night when we went out for drinks with a lady from Denmark. And one of the things that's happening for so many of us is we're alchemists. And I said, there's not a lot of job positions for alchemists, so what happens if you don't understand that's what's happening, then you get confused and you look for how we're going to express that. But once you understand that you're an alchemist, you can be a source creator of amazing things, then you come into it very differently, almost kind of boldly, but it could be quietly at the same time. It doesn't have to be loud, but we're inventing new professions, which is, I think, exciting. So there you go. Yeah, good. Okay, so Doriana, Karen, Eliza, anything you want to share about what happened for you when we did that?
For me, it just feels like it's just getting more and more and more solid, even though I can't exactly see the pathway, but I'm getting more and more comfortable in that. So it's solidifying in me my potential, I think. And also then I looked at Doriana too, and I just saw such the complete embodiment of the you thing. Like, it's not about teaching it or anything, but it's about just like you be it, and people are like, who is that? Even more so than it's been for years. And I didn't get a chance to get to Karen, but yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah.
I feel, more empowered again, finally, after a couple of months of just like spinning.
Yeah. We've really been in a lot of transition this year. It's been funny year. It feels slow and it feels fast at the same time.
Yeah.
And you get this sense of something's there waiting, something's about to pop into play, but it just hasn't quite like come together fully yet. How many of you feeling that?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us. Yeah. It's
And
wild,
for me
isn't it?
too, I was like working on this thing, and then it was like, that is so not it. But I kept pushing. I'm like, oh my gosh, so I thought both end.
Yeah, you can't push this stuff.
Hmm.
You can't push the expression of your greater purpose. You almost have to let it lift you up and then be so creative with it and let the joy guide you. And one of the things I said to the group this morning as well is doing the energetic work of it really helps. So if you like be that full maestro, that full alchemist, of whatever it is that you are, and you like really do the work of it, then what happens is it kind of unleashes the whole flow in you. So it starts to like go into this super flow state that I was talking about. I love, any of you experiencing that super flow state recently? Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of us. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I come in here a bit, because I actually worked on Karen, but I saw more about myself in the what I was doing. We were walking, literally just walking along the seaside, the seashore that you talk about, just talking, and it was very connective. It was a very connective conversation. I felt that I'd connected with you after a long gap. And as for me, I've been quite solitary in the last few years. I mean, I'm in this group, but I've been very solitary. And I have also seen in that last visualization, it's really important for me to get my place, my home straight and sorted. And it doesn't matter that I'm not doing anything particularly, work, I'm that is really important, a place to meditate, a place to be who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a room to practice in and to meet people within in the area. So it was a very sort of gentle community sort of feel, which is very nice, actually.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get you to unleash your own genius and mastery, your unique genius and mastery. So we're going to do that by doing the bigger work. So what I want us to do is just all line up. So you can feel it's just like lining up. You can feel us go collective. And then you may not even know what you're going to do or how you're going to do it. Doesn't matter. Just go for it and let your genius and mastery soar and do whatever it is that is yours to do now. Okay. That was fabulous. You could feel the field of us, the collective field of us just get supercharged. That's how I experienced it. So anybody want to share how that was for you? What happened?
For me, I could feel that the other reality is there, and I was in it, and I was just like doing this to people, like, wake up, come on. So that's it. It's already there, very, very, very present.
Yeah. One of the other things we talked about this morning was about going from being a person to being a greater being to being a field or a force, a universal force operating. And it's a kind of progressive energetic state in which you become a source creator. So you become a source of reality, or a source of your community, or a source of that which you're up to. And sourcing is just such an amazing thing to me. Like, as soon as you become a source, it's like you got it, but you've got it not as something you're forcing onto people, but as something you're joyfully emanating and exuding from every cell of you, but you've got it all turning out.
The funny thing is that I was sourcing it, but it's like I was sourcing it and it's like a parallel reality, so I need to land it here.
Yesterday I shared Tut.com does those daily messages, right? And yesterday I shared one of the messages, and it said, when you have something big that you're up to and you think you're starting with small baby steps, don't forget that everything you do is turning the cogs and wheels of the universe to have massive shifts occur. I thought that was such a great way to put it, because it's true. You could be at home in your garden. You don't need to be doing a whole bunch of things in the world necessarily. Do it if you love it, but you don't have to be doing that. Just by your very presence, by gardening, by walking in the woods, you are exuding the sourcing of a new reality, a new version of life. So yeah, exciting. Yeah, Marilyn.
I became very aware that although I am this sort of like, solipsist is the word that comes to mind, sort of like a little molecule in this house which I want to make very beautiful, I'm actually in an area of outstanding natural beauty. It is very protected, and I got a very great sense about sheep, because the farm, and I found out where the farmer lives, and I kind of feel very connected with that. It's incredibly green, and it's very beautiful, and I just have a feeling that will be my community and the sheep.
Yes, she's in her back garden. She has a view of the field where there's sheep hanging out in this beautiful, I think it's an oak tree or something, in the middle of the field. It's like this sacred tree. It's incredible, the whole thing, just incredible. So yeah.
It's everything I've wanted, a very spiritual place. I suspect if I start, and I will, investigating, there have been monks tilling that land for centuries, part of our very deep community, which is what I've always wanted. So I feel as though I have sort of kind of found a bit of a dream.
Yay! And she's going to be my neighbor. Oh, wonderful.
If I fly, I'll have to hang glide down to you.
Amazing. I love it. Yeah. Anybody else want to share what happened when you unleashed your genius and mastery? Could you feel it, like the power opening up and moving through you? Yeah.
Yeah, you know how when you're going to make granola, anybody ever make granola and you have a pile of seeds and a pile of nuts and a pile of fruit and a pile of grain, and then you mix it all together, and the goal is to get it evenly mixed together? I'm relating that was the visual that happened. I'm relating that to life is feels very separate and tribal at the moment. Even sometimes as I'm out walking, it feels like I stepped in a pothole of this separation, and mixing it together, getting everything evenly mixed and not so separate, is what's showing up for me lately.
In other words, I think you're saying that one of your greater purposes is the super connection of all life to all life.
Yeah, and bringing that present in this illusion of separation.
Yes. Yeah. And I tell you, because we've been working on that in the Maestros group for some time now, and the feeling of connectedness is extraordinary. Now, when you move into this new version of reality, it's just extraordinary that we're so interwoven now in the field of us all. It's so beautiful. And I'm not one who used to experience things like that. So for me, it's like, whoa, it's like an incredible newish thing for me to feel it like that. So yeah. Beautiful. One of the things I'll say is you can't get lost in the what is. You can't get into the doom and gloom, or get, be disheartened by things that you might see in the world, because I think we're meant to be sustainers and elevators and quantum leapers of the new version of life and reality and how interconnected we are. And so it's not like ignore it, but it's come at it from a completely different place, I would say. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so next piece. Now I want you to go and ask the universe what it wants you to do. Okay? Here we go.
If you well, I didn't know where you were, so. Yeah, if I have the one that's got the least.
Just a sec. I'm gonna turn, I don't know who's mute, that maybe Pips.
Yeah, it's me. I don't know how to mute myself.
Okay, I'll mute you, and if you want to speak,
I've just got a pile of people arrive around my car.
okay, I'm muting you, Pip. So then just give me a signal if you need me to unmute you, okay? Okay, here we go. Let's do it now. So what's the universe want you to do for it? Okay. I have to ask Kelly. Kelly, what on earth was going on? She was laughing like crazy through the whole thing. Can you talk? Okay, maybe not. When you're ready, let us know. That was so funny. I love it. Well, for me, I asked and it said, grow the armada of maestros doing this work in the world, make it like huge numbers. And it's funny because, I often on special occasions will do kind of global energy stuff, like global waves around the world. And I haven't done them probably since New Year's. I don't think about it that much anymore. And I was thinking as well, because we have a Murmuration of Maestros group in which we do sourcing breakthroughs in every facet you can imagine. And what we should do is do an open call where people can experience that with us all. So those were a couple of ideas I had while we were playing with that. So, okay. Can you talk now, Kelly?
I don't really have anything to say. I mean, I just am feeling overwhelmingly powerful surge of something that is making me laugh and cry at the same time, but I don't have any message around it, just incredible power. But my first thing was that we just did was the image, because right now I'm bizarrely in a deep dive of cleaning and organization. Like I spent the morning moving my bed frame and vacuuming underneath and cleaning baseboards and rotating the mattress and soaking my toaster oven in ammonia bath overnight and cleaning up. I don't know why. Like I'm in an insane get everything organized and clean. And so I had an image of my house going up in a tornado like this and then landing back down. So like to me, I'm just like I'm doing what I need to do to get everything around my environment, kind of what I think Marilyn was referring to, correct for me. And then I saw me diving into like a black hole, but it wasn't. If anybody's been to the monument for the Twin Towers in New York City, it's like a square waterfall going inward from all sides. So like I jumped into this waterfall, inward thing, waterfall, and then came exploding out like a huge sparkling energy that went all over. So that was the first piece. What we just did now, I can't even say. I was just overwhelmed with emotion and something. I don't know.
I love it. That's fantastic. Kelly's just left her job of 25 years and is starting a whole new greatness in life. Just this past week. Like, so yeah, I love it. And it is about getting the environment just right as well. So it holds the energy with you. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 week.
Yep.
Yeah, just 1 week. Crazy. Like I saw you just 1 week ago. One week ago today I left. It's insane.
That's how she finished her time with her company. She came over here for a week and we hung out and did amazing things. It was so fun. Yeah. Marilyn, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I kind of connected with Kelly, but you'll laugh at this. You know, I said to come and see you, I have to take zip line. Well, I saw a zip line. You know, I'm at the top of a valley one side and the valley goes down into the city and up the other side. And I have this most amazing view. But I saw me going on a zip line across the valley, across the whole city. So, yeah, and not just me, you know, teaching other people to get the zip line and go across. And some people were paragliding across. It was very much, yeah, very, very, you know, whatever method, a lot of courage, activities that take a lot of courage to get somewhere else, but not very far. And it was all about community. You know, when you're doing these things, you line up, you know, one after the other, and everyone was doing that, ready to get on the zip line and go.
I love that analogy. That's brilliant. Yep. Yep. Anybody else want to share what you got? No? Okay. Okay. Let's talk about superflow state, because the superflow state for me is where it's like you've opened the door to what I would call the quantum field. And new ideas, new innovations, new possibilities, they just surge on through you, one after another, and you end up like working in what I call hyperspeed, which I think is great. So I can get so much done in very little time. It's really quick because there's just this super flow, and you just stay in this super flow state as you move through things. And that's where I think all these great ideas come to. So let's give it a try. So just intend, from your unleashing of the unique genius and mastery, and from your connection with the universe or with life or nature or whatever it is, and then feel yourself go into the superflow state and see what, just ask, like, well, how could I fulfill on this in a delightful way, and see what happens. Okay. All right, here we go. And then just for fun, while you're in that state, ask for a brand new idea as to how you can do what you're up to in a way you've never thought of before, just for fun. You don't even have to say yes to it. You just want an idea and see what happens, okay? Okay, so what happened is you went into the superflow state, and then when you asked for a new idea, what did you get?
I got what I always get. I see myself speaking in public with hundreds of people or thousands of people. How is that going to happen?
Yes, I get that. Yeah. You have had it for a very long time and have come at it in different ways as well. And it's kind of like you can't be attached to an outcome when you're doing this. Like, you know, if it doesn't manifest exactly the way you think it should, you have to not be attached. That's part of the joy of it, I think. You let go of the attachment, but you also surge forth the desire, the belief, the power, the joy of it, and just kind of see it happening. And in some wonderful, fun, easy, delightful way. Yeah. Does that work, Adriana? Adriana, rather? Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant. Who else? What'd you get?
I'd like to offer something else to Adriana as well, about just on what you were saying. It doesn't have to be anything concrete, like to be some sort of on the stage as a presenter of something. But I think what you're looking for is an experience of something very powerful. And if we could just choose something, for example, to experience some surge of a powerful emanation of greatness in the world. Again, without any definition of how it might turn out to be, but you actually feel it. And Sarah was talking earlier about being a radiant sun. It's one thing to think about it. It's another thing to actually allow yourself to experience being it. So if we just use that as an example, just for fun, be that radiant sun without thinking about being it, without thinking how that can be achieved. It's like every cell of you starts to open up and it wants to experience the fire and the power and the explosiveness that is released in you, embodying that presence of the sun in its fullness, in its might, in its vastness, in its incomprehensibility. It's almost like you allow yourself to imagine, but wildly imagine, without any thought of trying to be it. It's almost like it suddenly starts to come to you and you are it. You are that power. You're the whole harmonic of the universe in this moment. Radiant, transforming, changing the very fiber essence and cellular structure of your being, let alone of your physicality, because you are starting to go bigger and vaster without having to be told, this is how you can transform into this greatness and vastness. Forget about being a human being for the moment, with all the tasks and all the situations that you find yourself in. We're at play. We're being in the awe and the wonder of the joy of being in the universe as something that's unimaginable. That's something almost like it calls to you and says, be with this me, be with me as this in this moment, because it unlocks and it triggers and it allows you to feel and the powerful urge, a surge, a creative force that you are. And that suddenly starts to come present in the rest of your life, however it might appear to be. But it's allowing yourself to be that without trying to get to the specifics of, oh, I'm going to be a great orator, or I'm going to be this great healer, or I'm going to do X, Y, and Z in the world. Be the force first, and everything else starts to move from that point forward.
Nice. Yes. And I would add too, because this is one of the things that I do, is when I say yes to a next purpose, a next greater thing, I try to do one small thing towards it. Something that gives me joy, something that's easy. And as soon as it's like my yes then has motion attached to it. So it's so simple. It's like you're creating a momentum of flow that's going through you, and just one simple thing. So, for example, both Adriana and Eliza both said about wanting to be speakers. Speak. Do it on Facebook or wherever you want. Like, just start to be that on spontaneous topics if you want to. And it just kind of catches fire at some point and moves you in the right direction. So yeah, cool. Okay, anybody else? Yeah, Marilyn.
I want to be part of a community. I mean, what I saw was very exciting and very brave, and you know that is uniquely me. I do things that are brave, exciting, but I kind of feel I just want to merge into a choir, a beautiful group of singing, of friends. I miss our choir in Jerez, and I'd like to find something similar where I am, and I'm sure I will. It's that sort of city. And the same with an orchestra. In the orchestra I play in the moment, I end up sitting behind a pillar. It's just the way that the desks work out. And that's fine for me. I'm quietly playing away the best I can, with the audience not being able to see me, but I'm part of a beautiful group.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, anybody else? So has understanding your own greater purpose and how you're going to fulfill that, has it moved for you while we've been doing all this? So just anybody? Oh, good. Yeah, good. Is there anybody who hasn't got it yet? Pip, okay. I think she was, oh, Pip and Kathy. Okay, anybody else? Okay, so we're all going to line up with Kathy and or Pip and, you know, witness them as the magnificent genii maestros that they are and call forth their greatness. Okay, and then see what we get about it. Okay. Okay. Well, that was quite amazing. It was like the two of you, Pip and Kathy, just went like that. Like there was joy and jubilation. And I think Kathy has a love of gardening and Pip has a love of oceans and you're both like love nature and stuff like that. And it was just like you just went like this in this joyful jubilation of a connection with the love of oceans, natures, plants, trees, etc. It was so beautiful. How does it feel? Oh, Kathy, we can't hear you. But you're not on mute, so I'm not sure why we can't hear you. Type it in if that's the case, if you can't get it to work. Okay, yeah. You can type it into chat if you'd like. So Pip, how about for you? What happened? Oh, you're on mute, Pip. Oh, I have to unmute you, right. Okay, where are you here? So just a sec. There we go. Ask to unmute. So can you see, Pip, where it's?
Yeah.
Okay,
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, it's really weird on the phone. Yeah, really very, ever since we started, I've just had this really strange feeling. It feels like almost a constriction around my heart, and unable to sort of get to anything. But when we did that just then, yes, I could feel, that essence of me, and that the love of life, and wildlife, and that, the wanting of that connection of all life. But yeah, very, very odd.
Well, one of the things, I don't know if this applies to either of you, but one of the things that happens is a lot of people will say, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what I'm up to. I'm not sure I have it. But one of the things you should know is that every one of us is always being it, no matter what you're doing. If you're in the garden, if you're walking in the woods, if you're walking down the street, buying the groceries, whatever, you are always being it. Your very presence makes life evolve. Yeah, Julie.
Well, in my words, about what you just said, I focused on Kathy, and what I heard was, you know what you are here for, but you just want us to practice on you. And I felt immense love. I could not, I was glued to her because she is love. I wanted to focus on Pippa, but I was, it was so sweet and so loving. And I guess that Pippa is the same and we are the same, but it was like just going to the essence of who we are,
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you. Yeah.
I think I had to take the speaker out, but I'm not very tech minded. Yeah, I felt really touched when you were saying that, Julie. So it obviously triggered something in me, and maybe I've always had recognition because we look at our childhood from what I actually do, and who I really am. So I guess it's about what you actually give out when you feel comfortable in the world. So I'd say I'm transitioning between being who I really am, and then old programs, come in. But yeah, it feels good to not have to really do anything except what I enjoy, which is being in the garden. But I also enjoy being around people, and I'm coming to understand that maybe I've got a sense that I never really acknowledged wholly. I think and I feel I automatically tune into people, and try to love them, but I can't fully love until I step really into who I am, because of this fear and stuff from the head gets in the way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
thank you very much for that.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
Gosh, thank you for upsetting me.
That's like the movement, the opening up, the flow starting to happen when you feel like that. That's beautiful. Yeah, because really, I'll say it again. Everything you do, every moment, everything you be is making a difference in this world. And that you can't judge or assess it or think it has to look a particular way. If you're one of the people who's here to remake the world in the future, then it's just an essential part of who you are and how you live your life in every moment. And even if you're in the garden doing gardening, a lot of the people I know, they're still like, they've got the world turning out, they're talking to the plants and they're remaking the connections of us all. It's an essential part of who we are. And it's important to kind of acknowledge that and live into it.
That's interesting, because I feel as if I am trying to do something and have a dream, and I can't find one, because my dream was always to have a horse right from I was really, really tiny. And I've had two for 11 years, each, 11 years break, 2 years break, 11 years. And that was really so opening and enlightening to me. But they got took away, and to have another dream, to create a dream, I haven't got one, which is really weird, because lots of people have ideas what they want to do.
Yeah. Don't judge yourself in any way, no matter what. Don't judge yourself, because the minute you do that, you're out of the flow, you're out of the reality. Be an emanational presence of what you're for. And then the ideas come and the opportunities come and the people show up, and it just kind of finds its own place. Because I'm finding now it's so effortless. I almost don't even I do lots of stuff, but I'm not like pushing and driving to make something happen anymore. I'm just having a good time.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't drive.
Have fun.
Yeah,
it's a part of the high vibrational frequency of the new reality. You have to have fun. Seek joy wherever you seek it.
Have fun without a horse. I've learned that.
Well, you never know. Maybe you'll find some place that they have horses and you'll go and be there. So anything's possible. If you judge yourself, you're out. You'll drop into a different version of reality, and you have to be in the joy of you, the emanation of you, the expression of you for what you're for. And then stuff just happens naturally. It's quite beautiful, actually. I never could believe it would be so effortless. Anybody else finding it's that effortless for you these days? Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's really
I think what helps to make things so much more sweeter is to give a different context to your life. So if you had joy before with horses, it doesn't have to be physical horses. You could be a horse whisperer talking with horses across the world. It's just the way in which you change the focus of what you think about yourself and what you believe that you're capable of achieving.
Yeah.
And if you wildly dream, if you wildly vision, you skip all these "you can't do this" thoughts that might come up. And you realize that in your daydreaming, perhaps, you're doing amazing things. But it's not until you actually look at what you're doing in this daydreaming type state, of which you feel so much more powerful, so much more aligned with a community of life, that it's almost like it changes your feeling about relationships with all sorts of possibilities of being in this world.
I'll give that some consideration, Santari. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Deborah.
Can I just share something as well, Kathy? You know, when I sort of tuned into you, I saw you dancing and just giving like no care about what anybody was thinking about you and coming really out of the head and fully into the heart and just being in your joy and not having to do anything but just have fun.
Yes.
And just love and have fun and dance and you being in your garden, and you don't have to do anything else.
Yes. And you can if you want, but have it be joyful. Because that's the key to the whole thing. It keeps you in the high vibrational frequency where synergy, synchronicity, ideas, possibilities, genius flow, it all happens in that new reality, which is very present. And that keeps you in this state. So we're just gone over the hour. So can we just all line up and just like be who you are, bring your greater purpose to the fore, surge it into the world today. And let's do that all together. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, that felt fantastic. And do you know what I got while we were doing that? So we've talked about greater purpose, and this came up as greatness. And I think that greatness is a downloadable force. I know that's a wild thing to say, but like you can partner with greatness so that you're up to great things. And for me, it's like a partnership. Greatness is there waiting for all of us to embrace it, to embody it, to, you know, give it fulfillment. And greatness has its own ideas and flows and opportunities and all of that. So it's another way of doing this is to partner with, say yes to greatness, and then let it find its natural way through you to be delivered into the world that gives you joy, that marries with your unique genius and mastery, that kind of thing. So that was great. Anything for anybody else before we go?
I could see that somebody left a message, but I can't see any messages because I'm just on this phone.
Yes,
Pip, it was me, and the message said when I connected with you, I saw your essence inviting your Pip to dance.
Oh, thank you.
And Pippa, for me, I saw you having amazing, exhilarating adventures, and I know that you've got someone close to you that you can do that with.
Oh, yes, she does.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And he knows how to have adventures.
And he does. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, Doriana. Yep.
So I would just like to add that all through this process, I didn't get do this, do that, or pictures or anything. But what I got was what I'm doing is letting source intelligence work through from inside through the DNA. And that's what I found when I was on the playa. I didn't have a mirror, so I couldn't see myself. And so I was just coming from within and not worrying about what was appearing from the outside, but just being my divine source intelligence, being in the world. And it is fabulous, and it's joyful, and it's ecstatic, actually. And so it's wonderful to be in this group where everybody is coming forth with all our greatness. So thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. And I don't know, Kathy and Pip, I don't know if you saw what Kelly wrote. So I'll just read it quick. So I got Kathy as a sparkling symbol of the tree of life. When asked what for, I got healer of the world. And Pip was images of underwater worlds and bubbles. And then you diving nude into the ocean and merging with it. That's like spot on for both of them, I would say. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. We can't hear you, Kathy. You're on mute. No, can't find it. You just have to, it's over on the far, if you're on a computer, it's over on the far left on the bottom. It says mute and unmute.
Or press the space bar and keep your finger down on the space bar.
Oh, okay. That does it, does it?
That also works.
Ooh, Mr. Techno. Okay. All right, we better stop. That was fabulous. I absolutely love it. We should do these lots more. Fun stuff. So be wonderful in the world, share your greatness in joyful ways, and let's, we are a team who are making the world a more amazing place all the time in our own lives and together. So, yep, brilliant. Love you all lots. Have fun.
Bye.
Yabba dabba
Thank
doo.
you. Bye.